classic A split push, some double doors. Control is going to be taken here, but the Poison Cloud is going to slow that, and a 3-man flank is already coming out from BBGA, just pushing down mid here.
Yeah, just being picked off there, Verno. Flickbaiters. Oh, that's just going to leave Redux with a bad taste in their mouth. And right now it does seem like Built by Gamers Academy just, you know, has the better take onto site. I mean, they're pushing together, but it seems like Rustin has a really nice angle coming through. A 1v1 scenario. Rustin with 35 health might just be able to get this through if they can do a little bit of a troll, but Monsi right around the corner is just going to pick off the head of Rustin. That's going to leave 1 point over to BBG here.
That was a nice try. I mean, Rustin did get that dink off with the classic, but the Ghost prevailed in this situation. Pretty standard cake as far as things go for Flickbaiters starting off on the attacking side. We're going to see those buy-ups to the Spectres. No Marshals coming out. I love some Marshal gameplay, but I understand most people will pick the Spectre over the Marshal for these, you know, for the second round after you win, but Blackheart's going to opt for that Ares instead, and I think Shuker is probably saving for an early operator. That, or even just maybe settling for a Vandal for round 2, but Poison Cloud is going to be placed for A, slowing the cross of the Viper walls that you can see, the toxic screens, not quite up yet, but crossing each other on site here, and a lot of Hall's control is just being taken. No utility other than that one tripwire close to bridge is going to be able to stop Flickbaiters, and they're just going to wait a little patiently, see if they can maybe catch somebody off guard while they wait for their Sova to kind of posture up A main.
Some damage coming out from, you know, Flickbaiters, but it's not going to do a lot here. I like the flank coming through, but it's just going to be Blackheart spraying down. Rustin's going to be able to get that trade through, though. It is a 3v4. Numbers are higher on Built by Gamers, and right there, Shuk is just doing a troll. Going to be able to updraft their way and just kind of close this off in a really nice manner.
I like the idea. I like the idea of the pinch just like slowly creeping up through halls, waiting for that opportune time for the rest of Flickbaiters, you know, for Arctic to move their way up through cave, get a little bit closer to try to sandwich the players on the A site. Unfortunately, I mean, BBGA did have 3 players defending A, whether it was cave, whether it was double doors, and then on top of that, I think it would have been maybe a bit of a better idea if instead of lurking Rooston was with Arctic in A main for that situation and trying to get that pinch going with 2 players instead, but BBGA is gonna go for this aggressive push out, and I don't know if Arctic is quite ready for it.
Oh, no, not ready. I mean, you don't really assume that the defense is gonna get a little bit attacky on their side. They're just gonna push through and get that pick down, but it is 1 player off of the sides of both sides here. This is gonna leave Nerfed kind of waiting around, trying to wait for that aggression that just came through. Although that's kind of leaving this really slow lurk from Flickbaiters, and I mean, the time is ticking. Eventually, they're going to have to realize they have to push a site at some point.
I mean, there still is a minute left on the clock, and quite a bit of mid control has been taken. The bait over towards the A site has gone very well as well, and we're going to see, you know, this push both through elbow and through main here. Fireball alone on site is going to have to try and rat out and live, and Rooston is going to take them down. Nerfed with that flank is able to take down one as well, leaving BBGA just with 2 players in a 4v2 situation. Spike has been planted on B.
Ooh, they just keep getting punished. I feel like, you know, Built by Gamers, they should know by now that there are some lurks coming through. It's been 3 rounds in a row, but maybe it just needed to be, you know, a constant iteration of that, not just a couple rounds in a row. But Blackheart is trying to at least gain some information on Nerf, probably trying to eliminate, if anything, but this retake needs to come through. I don't know if this is the best idea. I mean, the time is ticking. The spike needs to at least be, you know, taken care of. And right now it's just the journey of Nerf, if whether or not you can take him down, and that's exactly what's going to be happening here.
Trooper is able to secure a Phantom for themselves, but the rest of Flickbaiters is pushing now. Rustan's going to take down Sugar. Verno actually able to grab Blackheart as well, and you would think that if you were going to go for the save, you'd maybe play it a little bit more safely than running into the crowd that you hear running towards you, but the situation, they were in a bit of a sticky situation. They could have been walked up behind them as well. So, it's tough. Sugar is going to be pulling out that operator, Bladestorm, available as well, and I think it would actually be interesting to see if Monsi would be able to either secure a kill or secure the ult orb in Chop Shop to have that Viper's Pit online, but it would also be incredibly dangerous to do so and a pretty big risk as well.
Oh, I like the operator coming out from Shuk, but I mean, there isn't necessarily any mid control being taken. I do want Built by Gamers to understand that there is occasionally a lurker coming down, especially down a hallway. I don't know if they're going to realize that just yet but Shuk does have this operator watching around mid. If somebody peeks, Rustin might just be within the line of fire, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Shuk is just going to be able to take one down, and that first initial pick is going to be huge. Taking out that Sentinel, taking out one of their fraggers, and right there, it honestly is just whether or not you can get these picks down, especially with a default like this.
That was really unlucky timing, actually, for that Viper on Viper battle in halls. Monsi just looking away there. Verno's ready for the flank, though. It's going to take down Fireball, who just over-aggressed out of B, and looks like the spike will be picked up, and it will be ultimately a B hit and end, but we do see, actually, Con Artist has this flank down. I don't think they'll have the timing quite right. They are taking a little long to get this flank off, and that Viper's Pit's just going to cover B, allow this plant to go down pretty safely.
Spike planted.
Ooh. Shoot with the operator might just be able to get a couple, but I don't know if they're going to peek here. I mean, having that information for Flickbaiters, hey, there's an op. But I do have to say there is a flank coming along. And, I mean, Verno's just going to shut that down. It doesn't necessarily matter. I think not peeking here is very important. Instead, it's just going to happen. The aggression definitely not needed, but it seems like right now Verno in a really good position, able to get that 3K down. That's going to leave a 1v1 scenario. All Verno needs to do is hold this plant down, get that information out. And, I mean, using that guiding light, some of that util is going to be huge here.
Oh... It is halved. I don't know if... there's just not going to be enough time, unfortunately.
Yeah. It was playing around with my heart, playing around with Blackheart.
For real, yeah.
I did that unintentionally too, so...
I was really hoping that the defuse is going to go off, but, in that situation, it definitely is tough. That was a really clean shot from Verno as well, initially on Shuker being able to take down, the second person on BBG, and the repositioning as well. If Blackheart had maybe stuck the defuse the first time around, could have been able to get that second half off afterwards, but it just wasn't able to happen. Got that aggressive, Cypher camera to get that early information, allowing that call to fall back to happen. It is going to be this B hit. Oh, I also just want to point out, whatever is going on A right now, Rooston and Monsi just missing each other, ringing around the rosieing at the moment.
It just happened. I like it, though. I mean, they were trying to at least get something. There is a rifle in their hands now on the side of BBG, but that is going to be an elimination for Flickbaiters. They have to be able to do something here. I don't know, necessarily how much they can do. If they can be able to take out Nerf, that's going to be a rifle in the hands of Built by Gamers.
Overwhelming, maybe but it's going to be the 1v1 situation. Shuker's going to get that wall bang, though, on Nerf, and it's going to be this 1v3. Not enough time on the clock to get the defuse off. Yeah. Redux is going to close it off with the Bulldog. It's going to be another round on the board for Flickbaiters. 3-2 now. And we do have 3 ultimates available on both sides. Fireball's actually 1 away from Neural Theft as well, which could be huge, especially on any map, but a map like Breeze, where you get that early information, that early intel after getting a frag, and just being able to read and see where your opposing team is. And hopefully we'll see those Seekers coming out you know, just for that retake situation from Con Artist.
Oh, Shuk is gonna have to get back here. I really like that. Being able to get that drone out on the side of Flickbaiters and not peek. That's gonna give that information out that BBG does have that operator.
Some repositioning happened on the side of BBG. Operator repositioned to watch tunnel now, trusting the Cypher utility to watch their back on A main, but it's gonna be still just cutting noise on the side of Flickbaiters. I think it's very well done by them. That Poison Cloud lineup is gonna be able to hit Nest there, I think. And that dart can come clear out main. And oh, the operator is gonna be taken down. Arctic pulling out that Hunter's Fury as well, and they're just collapsing on B. Fireball's gonna fall.
I like the slow push that I'm seeing coming out from Flickbaiters. It's allowing them to get these picks, but at the same time, then they start to get aggressive onto the site. Right now, it does seem like Arctic's gonna get one with the operator. I like the operator play here on the defense. I mean, you don't really see that on a Sova as often, but it does seem like Flickbaiters is just having the time of their lives right now. Monty having this angle. They do here. I have to say, I love the utility that I'm seeing from Flickbaiters. They are using their guiding lights, they're using their util to be able to either execute or peek. And that's exactly what you need to be doing. You don't want to peek blindly and you know, get that trade-off or get traded. In fact, you want to be able to use that util to dismember the team so that you can get that peek through.
I'm so nervous for Monty right now. That Poison Cloud was so well timed, though, to be able to block the vision of whoever was, I believe, peeking from mid here, able to get away with their life. And yeah, I mean, BBGA is gonna have to, I think, reset their mental a little bit. Flickbaiters did manage to get 4 rounds in a row. BBG started off pretty strong on that pistol and on that, you know, force up for second round as well, but kind of fallen apart a little bit. Flickbaiters able to collapse on them. I'd like to see maybe a little bit more map control being taken by BBGA. We do see Shuker here crossed over in halls and able to get one, but Redux is going to answer with the operator, and it seems like it's going to be a rotation actually back towards the B site.
And that's going to be a nasty trade. Not going to be able to use that tailwind to the best of their ability. Redux is going to be able to get that through, but some information coming out. I like the information, though. I mean, that's going to allow BBG to kind of think that majority is wavering around halls and A, but, you know, in reality, there is a rotation coming through.
I do kind of hope that Flickbaiters actually goes to re-hit the A site. To be honest, they do have the Viper's wall. It's like already... Actually, never mind. Their Viper has been dead for a while now. I totally take what I said back. But the timing has just allowed BBG to kind of reset themselves back to these default positions, get that rotation back towards the B site to have a little bit of power to contest. But I mean, Blackheart is gonna fall right away. Fireball backing off to play with the team on this retake here, and Arctic is gonna get this plant down.
Oh, and through the wall, Monty is going to be able to just annihilate. Right now, though, I don't know if Monty wants to be peeking this corner. They're going to be able to double peek it, though, but it seems like Arctic's going to be able to get that 3K down, and it does not matter. Arctic with the spray and pray. Just gonna... I mean, that's a great read. You don't really... You'd assume that someone would peek after that and try to get that, you know, that trade off, but Arctic just kind of read into that extremely well.
Really great shots coming out from Arctic, kind of not necessarily like saving the round there, but definitely some impactful kills to turn it into a 3v1 situation, mowing down their opponents. We are going to see Blackheart has the Hunter's Fury available. We have the Neural Theft in Fireball's hands as well, but we have the Tool de Force. I wasn't sure if Rustin was actually going to pull it out, but we are going to see some Halls contention coming out from Rustin with the Tool de Force. They're not going to be met with anybody quite yet, and Arctic's just clearing out Chop Shop, getting some information with that Owl drone.
Yeah, you do not want to peek this. But Reston's gonna back off. Not gonna wait too long, especially now that they're gonna do a little bit of a blitz attack onto site. That guiding light's coming through, but nothing just yet. I feel like I haven't seen an aggression come out from Flickbaiters just yet. They've been kind of wavering and trying to get these picks down, but they have not tried just getting onto the site. I mean, there is a lurker coming through for BBG. I mean, I apologize for Flickbaiters here, but I mean, it's just the same thing. You can tell BBG is kind of reading into it well, especially since they do have Monsi waiting around onto the site. But right now, it is just going to be a takedown for Verno there.
The timing to check the camera at that exact moment was so unfortunate, Gompers. I mean, and I think Verno just wasn't going to check the corner in that situation either, and Nerfed able to take down Monsi's going to have that Viper's Pit online, taking over B site, allowing for the safe plant, just providing a lot of cover for their team in the situation, being able to set up for this post plant, and it's going to be a 3-person retake from BBG from CT spawn. No flanks coming out this time around, and Verno's always poised for those flanks anyways.
Drone from Blackheart. Nothing. I don't know if you can really get much, especially within the distance that drone was kind of set through, but nobody's going to be peeking off that. That's going to leave Redux with their position untouched. Never mind. Blackheart's dart's just going to come through that damage coming straight through the wall, and I mean, the clock's already taken. There's not enough time to be able to defuse the spikes, so that's just going to lead to a save round coming out from BBG. Some exit frags for Arctic there, but in the end, this is going to leave Flickbaiters having a 6-2 lead.
Oh, that was really unfortunate. Redux wasn't able to get away from the bomb explosion there, but I know what you mean. As far as the owl drone that came out from Blackheart, I was hoping that perhaps they would try to maybe take some aggression, use the recon dart first, clear out the part of the site that is not covered by the Viper's Pit, push up to the wall, drone from wall, so you can have that entry information for somebody to follow it into the Viper's Pit and hopefully get a frag off, take down the Viper who could be hiding inside, just to negate that ultimate, but didn't come out this time around, and we are seeing this pause coming out from BBGA. They're just kind of figuring out how to play this defensive side a bit more effectively, and I really think that the flanks would be good. Regardless of the actual commitment happens, Flickbaiters does a really good job of having somebody posted up for those flanks for that information. But I think that even if it's not an A hit, pushing out through A, getting that information cave, clearing it out for your team, and even if you don't go beyond that, that's a huge portion of the map that you've just gained control of now, and obviously you have to give up other portions of the map if you are going to be taking map control elsewhere, but it just gives you so much more information, and if a rotation is called, you're in a pretty prime position as well. So I would like to see maybe a bit more fighting for map control, a bit more fighting for that early information, or late information. I mean, the timings can happen kind of at any point, but that Blade Storm is going to be popped in elbow here and able to take down Nerfed. Shuker's going to back out. That Cloud Burst being used for cover.
Mike and the aggression coming through for Built by Gamers, but it's just one and done. There's not much you can do, especially with this rotation coming through. But majority of the players, I mean, you got Cypher from BBG giving in that, information. Hey, there's a rotation coming through. They're pushing and pretty aggressive. Let's get this, rotation coming down, especially now that we see a couple of flanks coming around for BBG right behind Flickbaiters. Huntress Fury coming out, another one in replacement, and that's going to create some damage to the teammate. But I mean, as it is, being able to get that one player is going to be leaving it to a 4v4 here.
A 4v4, and also, I just want to point out, I mean, we do have Monsi on this pretty late rotation over towards the A site, and as I say that, everyone kind of just falls on the side of BBGA, Flickbaiters taking the 7th round for themselves. But what I was saying was, I think part of the issue with that retake coming out from BBG, Monsi was late on that rotation, elected to kind of was going through CT, then went to check on mid really quick, and then at that point, time was ticking. The players that were flanking from B through cave from BB on the side of BBGA. They were ready to, push in, make that sandwich happen, and it just wasn't set up well timing wise. And this guiding light's gonna get some information for con artists. I like the aggression here. I like the map control that's being taken, even if you're not peeking off of it. You're kind of just ratting around the silo here. Con artist just has so much potential as far as being able to hear steps, rotations being called, and just being in a position that Flickbaiters might not be anticipating.
Another rotation. I really do like the slow pushes that Flickbaiters is doing because they're kind of isolating the players of BBG. That's leading to the picks that they get originally. But the problem, I want to see some aggression. I want to get excited. I want to get hype. I want to see some of those picks come through. And I mean, that's what we're going to see right now. That Seekers is coming out, and that's going to leave Monsi in a very, very bad position. Location being given away, and Redux is looking for food. Monsi's gonna be on the platter. That's just gonna be a really nasty takedown for Monsi here, and this is the post plant. This is the aggression that I've been wanting to see.
Here.
I mean, you kind of spoke it into fruition there. That shock dart is gonna get a really nice amount of damage off, and BG Shuker is actually gonna take down Verno. 4v4 situation now, but a lot of information is being gathered.
Woo! But I mean, the picks are being gathered as well. BBG. Maybe the aggressiveness didn't work too much because they didn't get the players out, but right now... Oh, Shuk had the operator. Not going to be able to get one, but Colin is going to be right around the corner. That's just going to be a bad taste in Nerf's mouth. Not going to be able to line up the shots just in time. And right there, a 3K for Con. BBG taking it back with at least a point on the board. Ash, I should have never said that. I am so sorry.
I mean, in that situation, Nerf shouldn't have backed off to play that lineup. If Flickbaiters was already set up, for that post plant situation, guarding Nerf, have that lineup ready, poised so that somebody close to site or on site is able to hear the tap for the defuse, like that would have been another story. However, it's going to be this aggressive push through double doors, and Rustin is just going to take down 2.
They have the site. This is a great post plant position here for Rustin. Just waiting for somebody to peek. And Shuk is just going to be the bait there. That's going to lead to that Seekers coming through and possibly some damage. I don't know how well this is going to work out, though, and it's just going to be Rustin getting this 4K down. Rustin doing all the work. Picking up all that slack that's been handed down in the last round, and right now Monsi's just about to get a taste of that ace. Never mind, Monsi! Monsi just shot it straight down!
Monsi is able to secure that operator. Gonna go for the save here, but it's gonna be a tough situation. I don't know if they are gonna be able to get down that kill on Redux. Being pushed by Verno here as well is not gonna be able to live. Verno is gonna clean up. 8-3 now for Flickbaiters. Really unfortunate for Monsi, but you totally caster cursed Rustin there, calling out the ace and being like, oh yeah, he's got Monsi. This is easy. Sprayed down by the Spectre in like 2 seconds.
This is so sad. F in the chat. I feel terrible.
Can we get some Fs in the chat?
I really wanted to see that ace come down for Rustin, just because the round was going so smoothly because of him. But, maybe we'll see an ace another time. I don't know. First ace of the day, it's coming out. But we are going to see a Viper Spit coming down on B site. Unfortunately for Monsi, it's just not going to be the site that you should have that Viper Spit.
Yeah, I mean, you called these aggressive plays. Flickbaiters have been getting more and more aggressive as the rounds go on, and Verno's just gonna run and mow down Fireball, but the talk-to screen is down now, so there is no cover, and the spike has yet to be planted.
Spike down A.
Alright. Right now, it honestly is it's just a battle of whether or not you can at least get the spike down. And I don't know if that's gonna happen, but Redux being 14 years old, I can't imagine, being that good at that age, but just being able to get these one taps through, that's gonna be huge.
player
Yeah, that
standing.
dart's coming through.
One
Monsi's
enemy
gonna be
remaining.
able to get one, and that's
Spike
just
down
gonna be
A.
Rustin round around the corner, making Black Heart's heart just a little bit more black. And right now, just revenge-seeking Rustin wants to at least take Monsi out for
30 seconds left.
not allowing them to get that ace down. 30 seconds left, and the spike is not planted. It is literally just ring around the rosy, and right now, are you gonna be able to avenge yourself, Rustin? And it's gonna happen! Monsi being taken down for revenge in replacement of not being able to get that ace. Rustin, great job.
I was so scared that Rustin was genuinely going to be taken down by a shotgun in that situation after I saw the bullets going out and him just going down to 34 HP, and I was like, Rustin, not like this, but, you know, able to actually close it out in this situation. I think Monsi also had a Spectre in hand, so I'm not really sure why they chose to stick with, you know, the shorty in that situation, but I mean, we can't really go back in time and change things. We have swapped sides now to BBGA now on the attack. Flickbaiters defending on Breeze, and Redux and Nerfed are already just gonna make their way through elbow. Meet Fireball here, but Fireball's gonna have the upper hand and take down Redux, turning it into a 4v5. Spike will be planted, sorry, on the B site.
Yeah, that's just gonna be a straight push through for Flickbaiters. I don't know how well that's gonna work in Nerf right around the corner. It's just not the way you want to go, but I mean, you live and you learn. It is the first round. This is the time to kind of feel out for BBG, see what they do. And it seems like BBG is just kind of dominating right now in the pistol round. But Arctic is feeling a little bit cold. It's gonna be 2 for Arctic, but I don't know if that's enough to be able to let Verno be able to clutch up here. Does seem like Spike is gonna go off pretty soon, and I mean, Verno needs to go in. They can't be saving on a pistol round here.
I think they're just looking to maybe get some exit frags, but
Ooh.
able to get one. Unfortunate with the time. Verno was just a little bit late trying to retake with their team there. That flank didn't really pan out the way that Verno was hoping. We are going to see this buy up from BBGA. This is actually what BBGA needed. Now that we've swapped halves, to be able to win that pistol round, force up on round 2, and try and close that gap that was created by Flickbaiters, the momentum that Flickbaiters took during their defending half. And hopefully BBGA can take this round for themselves as well, take a 5th round for them. And then after that, if they're able to bonus, that would be even better. Able to, you know, get some more out of that economy, and Nerf is just gonna fall. A lot of aggression coming out onto the B site, the explosiveness that you were asking for before, Gompers. BBGA is here to answer.
Built by Gamers Academy. Show me some of that aggression. I'm seeing it and I'm liking it. But there is Windows. You gotta be careful for Windows. Seems like Redux is looking hungry. Gotta feed. You know, you gotta feed a 14-year-old. Gotta let him grow. But I mean, how much growing is there needed? It does seem like Redux is just going to be taken out instead. And 1 enemy remaining. A headshot straight through. 9-5. That's the first 2 rounds coming through on this half. But now rifles are coming in, and you know, Flickbaiters, they're not a team to be reckoned with.
No, it also seems that Fireball, I mean, maybe is just an attacker-sided Cypher. Who knows? Didn't have too much luck on the defending side. I mean, Flickbaiters didn't hit B too frequently, and when they did, Fireball was either offsite or just kind of got collapsed on. So really unfortunate for them not being able to play their util as much as Fireball would have liked, but has been totally dominating so far in these first 2 rounds, getting multi-kills both in round 1 and round 2, and you see the Trailblazer coming out to clear that left side of the site. And Nerf, though, it's just going to play around the toxic screen, grabbing 2-3 kills for themselves. Nerf is here to just close this round out. Can they get the ace? It is, you know, 4v1 situation. Fireball, though, does have the health here. Nerf, not quite as much, but that heal is likely going to come out. And I think, you know, the Flickbaiters, we're going to see the baits for Nerf to get the ace.
Fireball. Reminds me of Mr. Worldwide. But is he going to be Mr. Worldwide? That's going to be 1, but that that's gonna be an ace! The first ace of the day! It's coming through! It's coming through. That's gonna be huge. We're gonna see, Cypher with no brim. Wait, is that the term? Is that the term? Cypher with no brim! We're gonna see Cypher with no...
We will probably be seeing Cypher with no brim, but like, Nerf did so well on site. I mean, the last kill, Flickbaiters is obviously setting Nerfed up to be able to close out that ace, but I do actually really want to commend the 4K that initially came out, dodging, you know, isolating those 1v1s using the toxic screen to their advantage, and now it's gonna be caught out in the Viper's pit. Really unfortunate. Just pinged by that Soba utility.
Oh, there's just spray downs coming through smoke. Oh, Redux getting flash. Yeah, I don't think Khan's gonna peek that. That's really dangerous territory. That is not a place you want to be in right now. I mean, Fireball's just getting revenge. You're feeling it right now. Unfortunately, it's just gonna happen again just as I say it. Fireball's just gonna be taken down, and put some water on it. It's gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be fire anymore. Although Verno's not in a really good position. I don't know if Verno's gonna be able to clutch this up. Maybe a couple of exit frags just as it is. I think that's the best case scenario right now, but trying to fight for their lives to get onto the site.
Verno seems to always kind of be a little bit late to these retakes. I don't know if it's a communication thing or if just, you know, maybe the rest of Flickbaiters is going in too early. But Verno does seem to tend to be in this situation quite frequently where they are the last alive to clutch it out. And you did call the Cypher with no brim, though. Cypher did indeed lose his brim this round and actually lost his head too right afterwards. But 10-6 now, favoring Flickbaiters. BBGA slowly catching up, itching to close the gap, bring it to 10-10, not allow Flickbaiters to get many more rounds under their belt, and we are going to see that Hunter's Fury is available in the hands of Blackheart. Could be a huge win condition if the plant can go down, or even if an early Owl drone is able to, you know, grab some information, tag somebody out to get that early pick as well, help with the aggression onto site, cause a little bit of discord, and that Poison Cloud's just going to come up with the Snake Bite to slow down this push through B main.
Ooh. Yeah, this smoke cloud is not something you want to be pushing through, especially with those snake bites coming down. There's going to be some information coming through, though. Khan might just be able to get out Redux if Redux peaks, you know. But, I mean, the reposition is coming through BBG. A might just have to go on for another site, but there is a lot of chamber utility from Flickbaiters on A, so I don't necessarily know. I mean, now that the snake bites are gone, is this the site that you want to be pushing? The flash is coming through. Redux is going to be able to get one and possibly another one with a run. And God, that's going to be a vandal in the hands of Redux. You do not want to mess with this kid. Ooh, it's just a massacre. BBGA is just completely trying their best to be able to get onto the A site. Seems like now they're coming in for this rotation. But Fireball has really good lures. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of map control coming out from Fireball, but Redux is just 10 times better, getting that 3K down, and it is 2v2. Spike has to be playing it pretty soon here.
I think we're going to see a post-plant situation coming out here. Monty's probably going to try and back off to A main as well. We've got one snake bite available still, as well as, I believe... Is the Hunter's Fury still available?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
It is still available. Okay, I wasn't sure if in the chaos of everything if I missed out on that part, but the snake bite is gonna land just to delay that tap a little bit longer so that Blackheart can play for this Hunter's Fury, delay this a little bit more, and
oh, that teamwork was sick. I was gonna say, you know, I really do like the Hunter's Fury, how it was taken out at a specific time, if anything, trying to get at least some damage in, maybe trying to at least stop that diffusal, at least kind of, you know what I mean, like, span it away from the time. I don't really know, words are bad, words are difficult.
I know what you mean.
Words don't come easy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Having that snake bite be able to delay the tap onto the bomb, allow for more time to pass by, so, you know, the spike is ticking down, allowing that Hunter's Fury to come out. without the risk of being, pushed and then still losing out on that round. But so much Viper utility is going to come up. I like this angle that Redux is taking. You don't see it too often. You usually see a Jet playing on that left corner as you enter on top of that stack there on B rather than on top of the wall, but seems like BBGA is just going to kind of cut noise a little bit after revealing themselves and play it a little bit more slowly. Hope that Flickbaiters takes the bait to push out more aggressively, and that guiding light is going to come out to hopefully make an entry. But with how the Viper utility is being staggered at the moment, Flickbaiters really just isn't giving too much to BBGA right now. However, like you said, Fireball just takes a lot of map control for themselves and tends to just kind of walk past people. I don't know if they'll actually see Rust in here.
Oh my. Fireball truly is Mr. Worldwide when you think about it. It's gonna be just getting all of this map control down, not allowing anybody, this is his turf, this is his map. It doesn't matter where you are, but Verno might just be picked off here. He's gonna use some util, that guiding light coming through. But you can't really do much, especially now that majority of the players are down on A site on the side of BBGA. Monty, though, maybe the last hope? I don't know. Possibly. He's going to have some mid control down there, and that's going to be huge. 2 players of Flickbaiters waiting for at least some information. That's just going to give away Monty's spot, and it's just going to be Redux coming through. 14-year-old Prodigy. That is insane. Right now, just trying to at least get some damage through. It's gonna be Fireball against the world, and that's gonna leave Arctic all by their lonesome. Con artist just clearing this out, and right now, BBGA just really coming back for Flickbaiters.
Gompers, you're really out here casting cursing everyone.
I know!
In these situations, I mean, you hype up Redux, and you're like, yeah, 14-year-old Prodigy immediately then whiffs the rest of the Jet knives.
I just can't say anything. I just can't say anything. I just have to explain the whole game.
Gompers is no longer allowed to make any predictions because the karmic forces tend to disagree with Gompers, folks. But it's gonna be
you pick a name like Gompers. Of course, it's gonna happen. I mean,
you'd have too much power if you were right all the time. But that rendezvous is gonna come out from Rustin backing off to triple boxes on A. Here, Seeker's gonna create a lot of space for BBGA as well, and Seeker's just looking to clear out backside.
Ooh, I'm really liking the snake bites coming out. It's actually doing a lot of damage here, but Con is not in a very good position. The reposition's gonna come through. Guiding light, getting some information. A lot of the players are surrounding themselves, and I like the coordinated push, but it is such a big map that it can just go wrong, and it seems like that's exactly what's happening. BBG being able to get these picks down. 4 health on Con. Just playing for the team, and I mean already BBGA is just taking it down. Monty with the 3K coming through, and it's just the aggression onto site, the post-plant positioning, not allowing the players of Flickbaiters to be able to hold it in general is just going to be something that kind of just really diminishes the idea of getting that retake down. You can't get that retake down if majority of the players of BBGA are on the site, especially holding these crossholds.
Yeah, we do have 3 ultimates available on both sides, though. Most importantly, that Viper's Pit, if BBG is able to take site, get that plant down as well, to be able to use that Viper's Pit to maintain site control. And the Tool de False is going to come out, not going to connect, though. Verno in this rat position is going to be able to take down 2!
Ooh. Seekers are coming through, trying to give some information to Rustin, and that's going to be a headshot of a lifetime. That's only going to be one player. Yeah, one player being left, one enemy remaining on BBGA and Monty against the world. I mean, we know how well Monty can deal, but how well can they deal when it's just, I mean, bullets coming through the wall there, doing some damage. Flickbaiters finally being able to break this curse of BBGA getting all these rounds down, but am I going to curse Flickbaiters right now? Possibly. I think Flickbaiters might be able to come back here.
Gompers! Not the Gompers prediction.
Oh,
it will be a tough round, though, for Flickbaiters, I think, after, being able to win that past round was really important for their economy to be able to afford this time around, as opposed to losing out and being forced onto the save, and we do have that Hunter's Fury coming out really early, just trying to delay this push through B site. Right now, nobody through BBGA has made their way through the Poison Cloud, but we are going to see, that Cyber Cage allowing some space to be made with the recon, the drone.
Ooh. There's a retake wall, but I mean, Arctic has to be able to get something through. The recon dart's just giving out that information. There isn't necessarily anything you do about it. The attacking side of BBGA just knew exactly where to push, how to play off that recon dart, and in the end, it was just an annihilation on Flickbaiters.
I'm actually surprised to see that BBGA took defense, considering how strong their attack is right now. Like from what we're seeing, they have won. I mean, I believe 9? No. 7? I can't. I'm like trying to count the rounds on my screen right now, and clearly I cannot count at the moment. I'm too distracted by everything. But I believe it is 7 rounds on attack as opposed to only 3 on defense. So I am surprised that they actually chose defense first after Flickbaiters got their map pick, which is Breeze, and Trailblazer is going to clear things out. Once again, Redux taking that upper position, but I like that Viper's wall, actually. Well, just to hide Redux up there for as long as possible during that push-in, but Fireball is just trying to take some more map control in halls. Cyber Cage just to, question whether whoever was playing there, make them question whether Fireball backed out or is still pushing. And just like a really slow play coming out from BBGA right now.
Flickbaiters needs to be constantly aware that you have Fireball constantly getting on these lurks, constantly being there, and that's going to be a free pick. If you're going to get aggressive, and you know that majority of the players of BBGA are going over towards B site, you have to try to at least find that cipher to at least eliminate some of the players, kind of get this post plant, at least try to isolate the post plant a little bit, but right now it does seem like it's just going to be a 5-man post plant for BBGA, and Flickbaiters having that 5-man retake. There is a lot of utility Ash that can be coming through here as that guiding light, just as I say, that's going to be coming through, but already an annihilation. Bruno not really having the best of times, and it's just going to be a breakdown coming from BBGA. Wow, it is extremely difficult because I feel like everything I say is just coming back right in my face. Flickbaiters, I am so sorry for what I said, before. It does seem like they didn't bring it back. I am a liar, and right now it's just, honestly, I do think, though, that they can. The only issue at hand is just that BBGA is just getting these sites way too easy.
Their executions have definitely been pretty pristine for the most part. The aggression on the combination of utility, the fact that they changed their pacing, and like you said, Fireball, those lurks have been impeccable. And even that past round, I like that Fireball didn't actually commit to it. This time around, we are seeing Fireball playing with their team, playing with BBGA a little bit more, but Fireball's gotten into the heads of Flickbaiters to the point where they're going to be looking over their shoulder constantly, kind of looking for him, seeing if he is on that flank. And a lot of time is being bought, though, by Flickbaiters on the B site right now. BBGA is still kind of just stuck in main here, and
Nerf having a Marshall here could possibly get... Yeah, it's just a wide swing. I don't even know what happened. It was just a one-tap straight through. There's nothing you can really do about it, but it does seem like Flickbaiters is able to get a couple. That's going to be only 2 players left, and Monsi's position is going to be taken. Reston might just be able to get a couple here. That Headhunter? Oh no, that is a Sheriff in their hands. They'll just be able to get something with these close corners, but I mean, you can't really necessarily do anything. It's a 2v2 now. It was looking really good for Flickbaiters, but I mean, the retake, it was just strong. It's just an elimination coming down, and Verno only really has a Marshall to be playing off of.
Just a Marshall, but both are, one tap with the Marshall as well, but pulling out the Hunter's Fury in that situation was definitely a huge risk from Blackheart, but caused just like the exact distraction that was needed to be able to close out that final kill, especially considering that Spike still hadn't been planted at that point by BBGA. They are itching to take, 13 to 11, but I'm not counting out Flickbaiters quite yet. I mean, they had a great defensive half. They had a great defensive half. Do have to pick it up a little bit now, but or attack. They had a great attacking half. What am I even saying? They do need to pick up their defensive half now, though. Maybe play the retakes together a little bit more. It always seems that Verno is the last one alive, and A-Site is kind of just given up for free for the taking, and I think that's definitely the better way to play this out, this 5v5 retake, where you kind of have everyone trying to collapse at the same time, but Fireball's still lurking, just like through elbow right now.
Ooh, this is great, Seekers. They don't have to be able to peek out of this Viper Spit. They're just going to be able to get some of that information with the Sky utility. That's going to be huge. Being able to hear Verge. Verge is on the verge. Oh, no, that's not Verge. That's Verno. I'm so sorry. Verno's on the verge of, walking through that smoke, but it's literally just only Monty being able to take this through. That snake bite is in the hands, but Redux is just going to be going in, taking out Monty. It is going to be coming to overtime. We're seeing a lot of overtime. I guess, you can see now that majority of the teams and the players on, playing within Winter Champs today are just, honestly, they're just up to par. It's a challenge for everyone to be able to, win these rounds.
I think that's what is great so far within this bracket, though, is that the games have been pretty close. It says that, we do have the top teams within the bracket competing against each other, and it's a lot more interesting, and you learn a lot more as those teams as well, as opposed to, if you're rolling one team or getting rolled, whichever way it is, and bringing it to overtime. We are going to see BBGA back on the defense. Flickbaiters definitely had a better time on attack. Would not be surprised if we did see this round actually going in favor of Flickbaiters, but it's also possible that throughout their attacking rounds, BBGA had the time to kind of think about how they hold their defensive positions and maybe realize, okay, we can handle this a little differently. But as I say that, Shuker is going to be the first to fall to nerfed on the other side of the map, and still Hall's control is still being taken, though, by BBGA. 2 pushed up here. Blackheart with one other, and walk into a firing squad of 3, but able to take one out.
Oh, the reposition here is better. I don't think anybody's going to peek that, though. Blackheart is, in fact, coming through with the trade-off, but as it is right now, it is a 3v3, and that's going to be leaving 1 minute on the board for, Flickbaiters to be able to find the site that they want to be aggressive on. Although it's very hard. I mean, you have 2 players on the side of A. You have that Viper utility surrounding B site. The moment you walk through those smokes, it's just going to be a very, very hard take on to site. But leaving Monty by themselves, I don't know how well this is going to work. I mean, utility coming through. This rotation has to be coming in fast for BBGA, or else Monty is going to be on the wrong side.
Oh, is really huge, actually, to be able to get that impact kill, take down the spike, just cause a little bit more issues for Flickbaiters. Having to go and recover that. Verno is going to take down one, though. It's a 2v1 situation now. Spike still has yet to be recovered from B main. Can they get the plant down?
Enemy remaining.
Oh, and Blackheart is just going to clean up with that 3K. Another round on the board for BBGA. And I know, Gompers, we were saying that Flickbaiters probably had that round, in their pocket, considering how well they played on the attacking side. But now it looks like BBGA really might be the ones to take this home. I mean, their defense and their attack, they cleaned up their act on defense. Blackheart was able to clutch that out in that 2v1, and BBGA was stomping on attack, before we swapped sides, and I don't know, things are looking a little tight for Flickbaiters now.
I do have to say they're looking tight now, especially since Flickbaiters does have an operator on their side. Redux is not going to be able to get a lot here. It seems like Nerf is trying their best, trying to at least get this down. That utility being used to kind of hold the push and the aggression that might just come through. But Fireball isn't going on alert here. That information is given now that we know, and that can kind of leave a little bit less lenient. You can be a little more lenient towards B. Give some more players down there. Leave A a little bit empty, and right now it does seem like, just the push coming through from BBGA and the utility, but Nerf is not letting go. It's just going to be Motzi coming through, trying to at least push, get some picks down, isolate some players, and it's just a 3v3 right now, Ash.
That was so unfortunate. You know, the chamber having their back turned, their head peeking out just over the wall there, and that shock dart's gonna come out, do a little bit of damage on the planter here. 3v3 situation on this retake. No Viper utility set up for the post plant, but we do have a shock dart as well as the Hunter's Fury online for BBGA, so they might really have this in their pocket.
Ooh. Oh, that Hunter's Fury almost had it. Oh, and it's just missing by literally the tiniest bit of a hair. But Verno's just kind of getting some damage through with those shock darts. Blackheart's doing a really good job. They're just holding these angles together, and I think that's working out pretty well. Toying around with Verno, getting these jiggle peaks down, that's just going to be a really hard time. Not going to be able to get this spike defused, and it's just going to be BBGA, built by Gamers Academy, winning this game.
Either way, we are gonna kick things off now with mostly a B default. Kind of moving up slowly, getting that information with the owl drone.
Nerf being able to get some damage through, that's going to be huge, but I don't know how well they can play off this. Even though that damage is there, that does not mean it's going to be a promised pick for the side of Flickbaiters right now. It's literally just Rustum fighting for their lives, and I mean, BBG is just going to be able to get it through. Playing as a team there, that's just really gonna help Khan getting that wall down, at least trying to obscure some vision, get that spike, and help themselves to it. But, I mean, right now, it really does seem like BBGA just has the, has that momentum coming through right now in this pistol round.
They have the momentum, but there is a bit of util still left from Flickbaiters. I mean, that sage wall coming up is really hard for that
Silence
retake,
waiting around. It's just a battle. I don't know how much Redux can do, but it seems like Redux is trying their best to be able to get some fireball right around the corner. Reload coming through, and Redux is able to get another, possibly waiting around, but it's just the defusal coming through. Will she be able to stick it? No, Sage gonna be taken down by Fireball. I really like the sneaky defusal coming through. I honestly thought it could have worked out. I think maybe if Verno was able to hold it a little bit longer, it could have definitely come to fruition.
It could have. I think the sage wall, though, coming out from BBG actually had to get be taken down quite a bit earlier than it was initially. I mean, knifing it's hard because with pistols you don't have the ammo to kind of load and invest into taking the wall down. You do have to resort to knifing it sometimes, but
Scanning ahead.
I think if it maybe had gone down a little bit earlier, put a little bit more pressure on BBGA, the round may have gone a different way. But I mean, Redux is here, this aggressive nest angle, and noise is cut now. Rustin is going to be here for that rotation and able to take down one, but I mean, they're going to answer with a frag of their own as well. 4v4 situation now. Not too much map control has been gained by BBGA so far. Just playing this anti-eco very slowly, seeing if Flickbaiters will take that bait to, get aggressive, which they are a little bit mid and A right now.
Ooh. That's going to be one for Khan, another one for Shoot. And right now it's just Redux trying to get aggressive up on the defense. I think it was working out pretty well. I mean, it's just working out pretty well for PBG, especially it being one of the rounds on the pistol round. This is the anti-eco coming out here. Unfortunately, the wall just blocking the Viper's, snake bite, but it honestly just looks like this is BBGA's round to begin with. Arctic really only having a classic to go off of. Not a lot you can do except for try to at least get these picks down.
Yeah, and with that wall up again, it's going to be a really hard retake. I mean, Redux is super low as well. Only a Sheriff in hand. Not counting out that Zoomer aim quite yet, though. Good for one. Taking down Fireball. It's a 3v1 situation, and the clock is ticking.
Yeah. Not a lot you could do. It's just getting pushed through here. Redux is getting pushed by both sides. That was a really good shot. Gonna be able to get one. That's gonna leave. That's a really good save round on the side of Flickbaiters. They're able to kind of lower the economy, not allow certain players to get these rifles, and that's just gonna be looking pretty nice on the side of Flickbaiters.
Yeah, not a bad eco round whatsoever, like you said, being able to take down 3 of BBGA, kind of poking holes in their eco, making it a bit of an odd bonus, but you're actually going to see Redux opting for a sheriff. I think saving, hopefully get an operator in the near future and whipping out the blade storms instead. And I'm actually excited to see this. I mean, we've seen some crazy plays from Redux using that verticality, using that jet utility to get these off angles, to get these frags out with the perfect aim that you have in the blade storm. But a lot of Viper util is kind of crossing A site right now, and that wall is going to go up.
It's just a very weird push. You get, 25% of the site and then you just don't push anymore. Waiting around, I think maybe just getting out there, getting aggressive, using that util is going to work out just fine, especially since they don't, BBG just doesn't have that utility or, that weaponry to be able to just push up and really secure. Maybe just hold back. I don't even know at this point. Maybe Nerf might just be able to get one here. Coming through, or it's just coming through. Unfortunately, poor Blackheart, the utility is just going to be used, and the timing's going to be coming through, but Khan is just no damage being done.
Spike planted.
It's spike being planted. It's looking weird right now. BBG only having 2 players, and Flickbaiters having that,
remaining.
ratio advantage. 1 enemy remaining, yeah. It's going to be going over to Flickbaiters just as it is.
Oh my god, I'm so nervous.
I don't even know what to say anymore. I'm just stuttering over my own words. It's just going by extremely fast, and I think in general, just maybe pushing on to the site. I mean, they don't have the weapons to be sitting back and waiting around on BBGA, so maybe just trying to get aggressive and get those picks together instead of just waiting around and giving those 1v1s.
I think what happened there, though, with that A push was the fact that Con Artist had that Sage Wall go up, and unfortunately, it didn't leave quite enough room to get the plant down, and I'm pretty sure that's why, the rest of BBGA had to actually shoot it down to try and take that space, but at that point, they kind of allowed themselves to be in this precarious situation where they were very funneled in that one area, but Verno's here poised with a wall of their own already, just blocking off that choke point there, slowing this A push down a little bit more. And I just want to point out, we do have Monty actually sitting all the way in their spawn right now, waiting for that rotation. Oh!
Yeah, right now the picks are coming through, and Fireball is doing a really good job of being able to dismiss out and be aggressive, which is what I like. That wall is going to be majority of site control is just being given over to BBGA. That's going to lead to Flickbaiters not really getting anything. I mean, being able to get that one pick there is just going to really make Flickbaiters in a really difficult position here. This retake is probably not going to come through. The possibility of it is very low, so the save is just going to be coming in instead, and it's going to be a good one, because this allows, Arctic to be able to buy another, possibly another teammate to buy another as well.
I can't believe Monty's been sitting there this entire time. I just want to say, Monty's legitimately been sitting in attacker spawn this whole round doing that. I don't know if... You can see Monty also, just slightly jiggling in spawn on the map as well. Checking to see, okay, is anyone peeking? No, nothing's going on here. But that was definitely... I like the idea of that defensive position that Flickbaiters had on the A site. It is unfortunate that it didn't work out, allowing those early picks to kind of happen, peeking into the operator as well. It's definitely tough, and I think after putting that Sage Wall up on, that... I guess if you're a defender, it's the left side of A by Jenny. It forced BBGA to kind of move towards the left side of A site, instead going through maze, and the player that was on top of screens there just wasn't prepared for someone to be walking underneath them like that. It's gonna be a 3-stack towards A once again. I think it's really interesting actually that Flickbaiters chooses to leave mid completely open. There is a trademark watching kitchen, but otherwise, boiler and mid itself is completely free for the taking for the most part. We are seeing some tube aggression coming out from Rustum right now, though.
Oh yeah, and Shuka, that operator, might just be able to punish that through, but we do have some chamber utility. That trademark is waiting to be able to grab some ankles today. Although, they do hear it. They know that it's there. They're just
I know, they're
waiting
just
around.
looking at it.
They're waiting around to at least, wait and be like, hey guys, we're gonna get aggressive here. Let's just take a second, get ready, get prepared, and, they're just pushing through. No ankle grabbing today, but, Khan's gonna be able to get this spike down just in time with 40 seconds left on the clock. Did they close themselves off? I don't think they did. They're just waiting for an opening to be able to get that spike down.
But there is a nice flank coming out here. Rustin, unfortunately, not ready to have Monty also lurking in that corner. It's a 4v3 now. The resurrection is going to come out to bring Fireball back to life, making it a little bit more difficult for Flickbaiters on this retake.
Duke is just waiting for Redux to peek, and it's just a 1v1. Viper v Viper. Toxic screens are going down. Who is going to be winning? Nerfed or Monty?
One enemy remaining.
It's going to be Monty. I mean, they have the advantage with the rifles, and of course it is 4-1. The economy on Flickbaiters is definitely at its lowest point.
I'm honestly really happy to see Built by Gamers Academy starting on the attacking side this time around, considering the fact that, they started on defense on Breeze. It didn't work out that well, but once they swapped halves, the attacking side went much better for them. They seem to have a lot more of a coordinated attack, better synergy and execution on attacking versus the communication on the defensive side tends to be lacking. So it is nice to see that Built by Gamers is taking this advantage, starting out on the attacking side to kind of get these rounds in a little bit earlier. And that Viper's Pit is going to come out early on A to kind of negate that push through, make it a little bit more daunting, and allow a push up actually to that A grate there, getting a lot of really helpful information. Looks like a mid play is going to be made, but the spike is still postured towards the A site with a little bit of a lurk.
Oh, Fireball. I think the Reyna lurk is, the Reyna lurk down mid is completely fine, just simply because of the utility there, but the only problem is that Fireball has to win their fights or else your Reyna's completely useless. Whether it be the lurker, whether it be just pushing onto site. But, I mean, right now it does seem like Flickbaiters is reading very well into BBGA. They know that they tend to wait and try to isolate some players, so they're trying to play together. They're trying to wait onto the sites, wait for that aggression, and try to get those picks through. But, I mean, it's just not happening. BBGA is not wavering. They're waiting for these picks to come first.
Oh! They're just gonna updraft straight into the crosshair of Redux there, but Con Artist is gonna take this control of green here. Fireball ready to take that frag out on Bruno as well. It's a 3v3 now. Spike is going to be planted through mid.
One enemy remaining.
Ooh. Oh, that was a really nice leer. That's gonna leave Fireball by their lonesome. But Redux is right around the corner. I don't know. This is looking pretty scary. Nerf just coming in that flank, and Fireball is getting sandwiched in. That defusal has to come through for Flickbaiters, but I mean, Fireball has a good angle here. Now that, that lurk is not coming right around, and Nerf is actually coming right in front of the eyes of Fireball pretty soon, but they might just peek this together. Yeah, it's just a wide swing from Redux, and it's over. I don't even know. This kid is on a whole different level than what I think anyone has been on. But I can imagine being 14. Imagine how, when this kid gets older, he's gonna be dominating.
Yeah, I got that zoomer aim, the zoomer confidence is coming out from Redux here. But, I mean, up against tough competition with Shuker, especially now that that operator is in Shuker's hands. We do see the Empress is available for Fireball as well. Rustin electing to go for the Tool de False this round, considering the fact that they aren't able to avoid, a Phantom or a Vandal.
Here.
And we've also got Blackheart has that Hunter's Fury available, might be able to grab an early pick here if a tag can be gotten with the Owl drone. Otherwise, it will likely be saved for this post-plant situation, try and guarantee another dub before BBGA, but...
Ooh, that's a nice wall. That's just gonna kind of put them towards one specific area. But I mean, shooting down that wall works too. It's gonna give away some of their mags, though. I mean, but Shuk has a really nice angle on Redux. I don't know if they're gonna peek this, though. They do know, possibly, that Shuk does have this operator. But the hunt is beginning. We have the Empress coming out, and it's going to be an aggression onto site as it is. And this Hunter's Fury is doing some damage, but Fireball is going to be doing more. That is going to be one for Fireball pushing up, getting another. They might just be able to close this out just alone, but it's just going to be Redux surrounding the corners and kind of hiding, getting those picks down. It is just now up to Monty with this lurk. Being able to get that one is going to be huge, but they have to be able to eliminate Redux. He's just on a roll with this 3K, and that's just going to be Blackheart all by their lonesome. A little scared, 30 seconds left, but that spike does have to be planted or else it's game over.
Hard to in this 2v1 situation. There is one shock dart available though, Gompers, that Blackheart might be able to use to, you know, stave off this retake or the defuse for a little bit longer, but looks like Flickbaiters, they are sticking to each other on rafters here, and Blackheart's just gonna try and clear out the flank, make sure nobody's gonna walk up behind him.
Oh, it's a fake. Fake coming through, but I mean, yeah, it's literally, I feel like I've seen Redux just wide swing and just get the picks. It's like at that point, like Redux just doesn't need the blinds. It's just pure skill and aim at that point.
Didn't actually sneak that.
Yeah, Redux is definitely going for that aggression, but you know, Flickbaiters itching to tie it up. BBGA initially took the lead here, but Flickbaiters is going to answer with 2 rounds of their own in a row. Shut down that momentum a little bit. 4-3 now. It's another close game. I wouldn't be surprised if this one went to overtime as well, Gompers. We are going to see the Resurrection is available. Arctic could also, you know, fight for some alt orbs or look to get some kills off of their utility here to be able to secure that Hunter's Fury, but if Monty is able to get onto site with their team, we are also probably going to see that Viper's pick coming out for that post-plant situation.
Yeah, just another slow push from BBGA, waiting to get these. But I mean, you have to know by now, Flickbaiters isn't the type of team to, you know, get too aggressive. They wait back at just the right areas to wait for that momentum coming through from BBGA, and then that's when they start to, you know, peek those angles and try to at least get those spray downs, but it's just not going to come through. Arctic's just trying to get some information, knowing that majority of the players are around mid on BBGA. That's just going to give out some information. Hey, you know, just wait around. They don't know what site they want to push just yet.
I actually really want to point out, in particular, Verno's walls that they do on the defensive side. I do actually like the wall to negate the push under 2. I like the wall on A to negate that push as well, rather than going for the default, you know, most sages are going to wall 2, but I like that we are moving away from that meta, because I do think that there are a lot more useful ways to move it, like we've seen a lot of, you know, information and a lot of map control is being taken by BBGA here. But Spike has yet to be planted still. They're a little bit wary to kind of move up past yellow at the moment to try and get that plant down, and Fireball's just try and maintain its kitchen control and maybe get the drop on the players. That will be Snowman getting ready for this retake.
10 seconds left.
Ooh, 10 seconds left, and Nerf has the flank, but it's just not gonna work out. Oh no, the whiff is one of the worst things that could happen, but Fireball's not gonna be whiffing today. Absolutely not. It's just gonna be BBGA taking it back 5-3. The round is theirs for the taking. That operator is looking a little bit scary in the hands of Khan.
It's been very well done by BBGA. They did, you know, they answered to Flickbaiters, forcing them onto the save. Now Redux is going to pull out that Blade Storm. There is that Resurrection still available, and Arctic is now 1 away from the Hunter's Fury. This could be a great thrifty round if, you know, if Flickbaiters manages to get at least 1 pick pretty early on off of BBGA, play for that Resurrection in later rounds after maybe a rifle or 2 has been transferred over to their hands. But I'm never going to discount the eco-fraggers, to be completely honest. I like that BBGA is also maybe, you know, playing this round a little bit slowly, trying to get a bit of information, defaulting a slow push towards the A site with Fireball on this lurk. I know we were debating on whether Fireball would be that aggressive entry or if they would still play this lurky role, which they are defaulting back towards. But I do like the slow play for information, like I said, coming out from BBGA, not risking walking into those shotguns, playing this anti-eco, and kind of just sticking together, not allowing Flickbaiters to potentially get, any sort of advantage and steal a gun out of their hands.
I like the grouping that I'm seeing from BBGA. They're funneling themselves, but not in a way where it's dangerous. I mean, right now, they're just playing together, trying to get these picks and isolate the players, get these 1v1s. That's just going to lead to a 4v5 here. Just being able to get B-site pretty free, but they just don't know that a lot of the players are waiting around. Rustin right around the corner. Once that smoke goes down, it's just going to be going over to Monty. Although that trademark's going to be able to snatch some of the toes there. Not really doing much, just doing a little tickle. Sometimes I need to stop talking, but we have Marshall. Redux is going to peek around the corner, and it's just going to be, the wide swing from Redux. A nice little walk in the park coming through, and it's just going to be the retake.
3v4, the gun disadvantage. Things aren't looking too great for Flickbaiters here on out, but Redux, I mean, total force to be reckoned with. A lot of information was gathered there, and Monsi, though, with that positioning, is going to be able to flank and take Redux down. 4v2. Looks like just going for some exit frags here. Con Artist is going to take down Arctic, and Verno's just kind of waiting with the Marshall here. I'm not sure. Oh, never mind. Has an operator in hand. Not a Marshall, like, at all. So a really great save, actually, coming out from Verno. Able to salvage that operator.
Ooh. Yeah. I thought wasn't it I feel like there was an operator in his hands at some point. Maybe I'm just hallucinating.
I believe Verno picked up the operator after a frag went out. But yes, we are going to see the op versus op. Once again, Shuker versus Redux. I don't think they'll be meeting this time around right off the bat, but Shuker is going to look to get this opening pick here on the A site. Nobody's going to shoot out that recon bolt. Just going to hide from it for now.
I like the Viper util, but it's just kind of allowing them to not be seen there. And then now the 100 series is going to be coming out trying to get some damage through. It's going to be one, possibly a kill. Not going to land on the last one, but right now it does seem like those poisons are going off. That's going to be a couple seconds of free time for BBGA to have that vision. It's going to be closed off just in the right amount of time. Nobody knows now that Shuk does have this operator just yet, but they're about to find out pretty soon.
BBGA is pretty stuck here in A main as well, considering the fact that Redux is actually pushed all the way down tube, has that cross or mid right now. So, I mean, Flickbaiters, it knows exactly what's going on, or at least they should. Fireball getting this aggressive angle, jumping up on top of 410, and the Viper's pit's going to be popped as well.
Spike down A.
Ooh, the double pick coming up from Arctic, and that's just going to leave 30 seconds left, and right now it's just, can we get this spike down? Shuk is by themselves, and right now it's just going to be an operator in the hands of BBGA. That's going to be one kill off Rustin, though. That was a pretty good kill, but, I mean, can't really do much in those situations. You're just getting pushed from all sides and all corners. BBGA does still have that lead, so, you know, they have a little bit of that leeway there.
They do have a bit of leeway, but, I mean, like I said, I'm happy to see that Flickbaiters has kind of reset, kind of redebated how they would like to handle this defensive side, and we still have, I mean, that Tool de False is going to come out this round. Verno has that Resurrection online as well, if necessary. It might be a good round to pull it out as well, just to continue to damage the economy of BBGA, and Rustin's going to be good for one with that Tool de False, actually just taking Shuker off right off the bat, forcing a Fireball to kind of be that entry power, and forcing the Resurrection out of Con Artist as well.
Ooh. And right there, it's just going to be a really, really strong blitz attack onto the site. That's just going to be leaving. It's not going to be strong. It's actually going to just be wavering. They're waiting for, you know, that Viper wall to come up, possibly not having enough gas there. But now that it's going to come through, that Sage wall is coming up. That's going to be the spike possibly being planted there. Verno does have this Resurrection. If they can be able to... Actually, it's not looking too good. I mean, the player that has died is on the middle of site, and that's not going to be too good for that Resurrection there, Ash.
No, I think it's also tough considering that, you know, I think we were looking for that explosive entry to come out from BBGA this coming round, but then the timing actually allowed just Flickbaiters to walk up. I mean,
30
I also
seconds left.
really like Monsi. It has this
Remaining.
huge flank, and the trigger discipline was actually impeccable.
Spike is being planted. Oh, it's just gonna be a shock dart coming through. Arctic has really nice shock darts, but I mean, you can't really do anything. It's 13 seconds, and that spike has to be planted. Some Lears coming out to try to do something, but it's gonna be one. Possibly another, waiting around. It's ticking. There's not a lot of noise to be made. Oh, and it's just gonna be Monty waiting right around the corner, taking out Arctic there. 7-4. One more round. You know, I think if Flickbaiters is able to get this round, they might just be able to take it back on the attack, but knowing BBGA, they're just as good on the defense.
I mean, Flickbaiters, even if it does go to 8-4, that's not bad. All things considered, 8-4 is not a bad scoreline to end the half on. Flickbaiters could easily come back from that, especially seeing how their attacking side is definitely their stronger suit, and the same goes for BBGA. So things could have like the potential to fall apart on defense, but Redux is actually just gonna annihilate Sugar with that Marshall right off the bat. A really nice early pick, and the Viper Spit is gonna come out as well, but Fireball doesn't care, it's just pushing in.
Oh! I mean, it worked out in the end. Being able to take out Nerf is going to be huge. That's just going to be leaving Redux for this defense with the Marshall in hand. Oh, there you go, Phantom. Oh, the Reston has a really good angle there. Just not peeking out in time. It's going to be unfortunate, but that Resurrection's coming through, and it's going to be a beat from Verno. One more for Flickbaiters. That round is going to be set in stone. But right now, it's switching sides. We're going to see, you know, how well can BBGA, you know, continue this momentum on the defense.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think Flickbaiters, you know, they have a really great attacking strategy that we saw on Breeze. They have, you know, those clean defaults as well, and firepower coming out as well, but they tend to definitely lean more towards the slower plays, at least from what we saw on Breeze, the last map, where, I mean, people who were not here earlier, we did see map 1 earlier on Breeze, BBG Academy versus Flickbaiters. BBG took that map 14-12 against Flickbaiters. So if BBGA can actually win out this map, they will be moving on to Grand Finals, and Flickbaiters will be out. Otherwise, we'll be taking it to map 3, which is Ascent, and a very, very slow pistol round coming out from Flickbaiters. I mean, like I mentioned before, they love to play slowly. They love to see if they can bait out those pushes from BBGA. Maybe a little bit of over-aggression. Fireball might be taking the bait here. Is going to be taken down by Rustin, who's just poised and ready for that. The teabag from a distance. Yeah.
It's like, you know, blowing a kiss, but, you know, the other way around. Sometimes, you know, that analogy works. It works. It works.
We're gonna see a change of pace, though.
It's just not a lot of util there. The Viper util could possibly come out. We just gotta wait here. Redux has to wait just a second, not get too aggressive, because they have to be able to put this through. And Monzi's just waiting around the corner, trying to get that snake bite down. And it just seems like Redux is looking for blood. Oh, that will actually save the life of Redux for a second there. That's just going to allow them to be able to get back into Snowman. But Con Artist is in a very difficult position. Only having a little bit of health to be working off of. It's just going to be BBGA against the World. Right now, the World being Flickbaiters with 5 people for this post plant. Ooh. There's only a little bit to be working off of here for BBGA, especially with Shuk having a slither of health. Yikes. But it's gonna be Redux being able to jiggle peek that down, and right now Reston getting that 3K, not being able to get this spike down and defuse. It's going to be going over to Flickbaiters.
That tailwind that happened after Redux got that pick was actually, it happened so fast. I actually, I mean, I know obviously what happened, but it was like in a blink of an eye. The reaction time to just be able to dash away immediately after getting that kill. It just looks so clean. Yeah. I like that wall that came out on the attack from Flickbaiters trying to take that B site, especially after that snake bite did deny that default plant, to throw up that wall to cut off the inside of undertube, as well as, you know, that deeper part of mid to green area snow pile there, and allow that plant to go down, taking the CT spawn control was definitely huge. And Redux is going to meet Shooker there. A little bit of damage is going to go off on both sides, but no kills quite yet. Arctic looking to clear some space with the owl drone. You know, just making sure things are safe as they push in. A nice slow default once again from Flickbaiters. Something tried and true that they like to stick with.
Poison's off.
It does seem like it's just going to be a B take here. It's been working out pretty well, especially in the first rounds, but they do have these Spectres. They don't necessarily have much to be worried about, just the close corners that Monty's hiding in. Although, that wall is going to be doing it really nice and easy for him. It's just going to be Verno getting some damage through. I mean, all the snake bites are kind of just missing. Unfortunately for the side of BBGA, but they do have this 5-man retake that can possibly come through. So they do also have pistols, so not sure how well it's going to work out here.
It's going to be a hard retake, especially considering all of the utility that is up, all the toxic screens, but Fireball is actually going to get 2 with the Sheriff there. Arctic cleaning up some of their own, and it's a 2v1 situation. Blackheart here to clutch it out with the Sheriff in a dream. But likely going to be double swung here, and Verno is going to close out this round for Flickbaiters. 7-7 tied up, just like that, Gompers. Flickbaiters are not here to play. They're here to bring it back.
Ooh. But it is also now, you know, that we have BBGA with these rifles coming out. It could possibly be Flickbaiters' time to step down just a little bit, but I mean, we don't know. I gotta say, it is possible Redux might just be able to frag out with this Sheriff in hand. Oh, buying a Spectre now, but I think now that the Spectre's coming into play, and so is this somewhat of a half buy, half save. It has to be an aggressive push onto site, which is exactly what we're seeing coming out from Redux. They are not wasting any time.
No, they're trying to close the gap with these buys. Just walking around the toxic screen. Monty's going to take down Redux. Closing the gap didn't really make much of a difference there, and Rustin is just inching their way on site with the rope, taking this, you know, upper 410 angle here, and the spike will be planted on A site pretty freely. Snakebite just not there in the nick of time to deny that plant, and it's a 5-person retake from BBGA.
The defusal is coming through, and it seems like it's just going to be a sneaky one at that. They think that it's possibly not going to happen, but it's just going to go through. Nothing you can really do. They can't be peeking off that, but yeah, BBGA is just going to be able to take this round down. It was a rough round for, you know, Flickbaiters. They didn't have the economy to be able to play as much, you know, as stealthily, maybe a little bit more aggressive as they wanted to, but in the end, it was a valiant effort from Redux kind of pushing in through there.
I would like to see, you know, Verno maybe playing to try and get that alt orb for the resurrection. That would be a huge win condition, actually, especially considering the eco situation on the side of Flickbaiters right now to be able to grab that. I think they're kind of inching for it, but worried about this belt peak that might come off here, and just guarding that alt orb for now, waiting for the opportune time. Maybe have con artists steal the alt orb away instead, and Arctic is going to be able to find some information here with the owl drone.
Ooh. Fireball. It's looking pretty rough. I mean, the Angels are just being won by BBGA right now. We might just be able to see Rustin get one. Possibly. It seems like A site is a good site for Flickbaiters here. They're kind of getting that sense as well. It seems like they're rotating themselves around. I'm a little interested though. Nerd seems to always be the lurker, trying to gain that information, trying to gain that control, but you need those smokes. You need to be able to play with the team there. I mean, but right now it seems like Shook is a solo player. Gonna get that pick down, and it's just gonna eliminate some of the players. Create bigger ratio for BBGA there, but Redux is not a force to be reckoned with. Neither is Blackheart, though. The shock dart coming through just in time. been seeing a lot of shock darts that have been doing a ton of damage from Blackheart.
Blackheart is a force to be reckoned with on that Sova pick. Definitely a Sova main to heart. That Snakebite is going to come out, not quite deny the plants, but definitely going to cause Arctic to take a lot of damage in this situation. Not ready for those overhead peak Shuker, grabbing a 3k for themselves. Another round on the board for BBGA. Blackheart is going to get that defuse off as well, and that's 9-7 now, favoring BBGA. They are looking to hit match point and take this home. They want to make it to grands.
I mean, they might just be able to. We do have, and I said this before, Fireball. I wanted to see those frags. I wanted to see them be able to really utilize Reyna's utility. And I've been seeing that. I've been seeing the dismiss out just in case, you know, that there'd be a trade-off or if they saw anybody else. I saw the dismiss for information. I'm really liking the way it's going, 17-9, being able to really entry onto the site, use those blinds to help out the team since there is no Sky available. But, you know, and these retakes are coming in pretty strong. I really want to see, you know, I want to see a little bit more teamwork on the side of BBGA here. They're getting picked off very fast, especially in the beginning rounds. And I mean, now that we're seeing Fireball get a little bit too aggressive, I'm not sure how well this is going to work out here.
Oh. Really unfortunate that that tool to fall shot just missed, you know, through that one-way angle. It's gonna be good for Fireball this time around, though. 4v4 situation now. Monty's gonna go for the refrag, and I mean, Flickbait is still, you know, kind of posted up B. You may not able to get through quite yet. The resurrection is gonna come out on Rustin, and there is a lot of map control taken in kitchen right now, actually. You know, Nerfed, you know, has this great lurk, might be really good for one. And Rustin's just very good at kind of like finding just the edge of people to get those frags off. And it's a 4v1 just like that. Bomber's Shuker is left to clutch it out.
Oh. I mean, there's not much you can do unless you can be able to just do what Redux does best and just run out, get the one taps. I'm not sure how well this is going to work. Yeah, it's just going to be Rustin helping out the team there, cleaning everything up that's been made. The mess no longer there. It's going to be BBGA trying their best, but I think the retakes are just kind of sloppy. They're just getting picked off one by one separately, and it's just leading to Flickbaiters being able to get this lead. Not lead, but slowly being able to pick up.
Nerf just had some like really great trigger discipline, you know, not firing too early so that you potentially miss your shot, like scrambling a little bit, just waiting to see with that flank if there's any more information that could be gathered before going in for the kill. And Shuker's gonna take this aggressive operator angle. No, it's gonna, oh, it's a wall bang.
Oof. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. There's some aggression coming out from Monsi, but of course, I mean, the mid peak is going to be a little bit dangerous there, especially with none of that util to be able to blind out. But I think what's interesting is that there is no source of blinds for Flickbaiters, but they're doing an incredible job of being able to secure the site.
Well, the biggest thing is if you don't have blinds on your team, you have to use the Sova utility to the best of your advantage. I mean, using the owl drone to clear out those corners, using the recon to clear corners as well, because you don't have the flexibility of using those flashes to, you know, swing off of that contact and take somebody down. So when they don't have the vision. But, you know, another slow round coming up from Flickbaiters, the slow default that they're very, very comfortable with for the most part. It's more spread across the map and taking a little bit more of a different pacing, still leaning towards the B site this time, though. Gonna have that updraft from Redux, taking this upper angle with the operator, and Verno's gonna look try to get that wall up. Shuker's gonna have to back off and use that cloud burst to hide that recon dart as well, and the Hunter's Fury is going to be forced out to slow that plant.
Ooh.
Oh!
And the operator show might have just clutched up. There's not enough time, and it seems like Shuk is really just going for it here. BBGA taking this round in their hands, literally at the hands of an operator. What in the world? Shuk just completely clutched that round up.
I believe, yeah, Shook and Con Artist totally clutched that round up, being able to get those kills either through the smoke or just slowing that plant down. Unfortunately, Flickbaiters ran down the clock a little bit too much on that attack. They tend to, play a little bit more slowly, which often works out in their favor. But I think BBGA at this point has gotten a pretty good read on those plays. Or playing a bit more passively, trying to play those retakes together, and there are quite a few ultimates available as well. Redux did pop, the Blade Storm. Trying to get that entry in.
Just waiting, trying to... I like the slow push that I've been seeing Flickbaiters do in the beginning half, but it seems like Shook is just catching up right there, trying to get aggressive, getting that nice angle. And being able to get that first initial pick, especially on the Sage, is going to be huge. That Sage wall is not going to be there for that plan, and it's going to make it 10 times more difficult. But I mean, as long as Redux is alive, waiting, trying to at least gain some of the site control, it is not going to be easy for BBGA to get this retake down.
I mean, it's going to be hard to get the plant down, too. We no longer have the Sage available for Flickbaiters. I mean, Con Artist is going to pull out that Resurrection as well to bring Monsi back into the game, have that controller utility, able to cut off those lines of sight. And Spike is just waiting to plant Nerf, hiding in this Viper's pit. And Shuker and Redux are just ready to have this jet-on-jet Blade Storm battle.
Toxin screen down.
Nerf is in a really good position, although there is 30 seconds left. They have to be able to get this down. Monty is smelling something a little bit fishy, though. Not going to come through, and this is where the challenge truly happens here, Ash.
I'm kind of just holding my breath here, trying to see what's going to happen in this Viper's pit. Oh, Redux! This Shuker's just going to check the corner at the wrong second. It's 4v4 Gompers.
Ooh, and the operator's in the hands of Redux. This is looking pretty dangerous, but, I mean, the moment Nerf goes down, it seems like Redux might just be able to pull through here. Yep, it's going to be a 3K coming out from Redux. He is not a force to be reckoned with. He's trying his best to get these through the smoke, and Blackheart is waiting around the corner. Gonna be able to get one. Not enough, though. Not enough time to be able to get this defusal down, and it's just gonna be going over to Flickbaiters here for this round. 9 to 10, Flickbaiters slowly climbing their way up, but, I mean, how much can BBGA take? They need to figure out what they're doing wrong here.
They do have that Empress online, which can be huge for these clutch situations. BBGA is going to have to win this round, though. Like, specifically this round, or else they're going to be forced onto that save and allow Flickbaiters to even take an 11th round for themselves and take the lead over BBGA if they're able to, tie it up to 10-10. We do have that Viper's Pit. Monsi's buying with that Judge, going for the Viper's Pit play on the A site, just negating a lot of information, a lot of ease of pushing through A, forcing them to kind of maybe lean more towards B and mid at the moment. Shuker's going to have to use that Tailwind pretty early just to back off and play their life.
There. Poison's off.
Yeah, that's a really hard position to be playing in, but I mean, right now, Rustin being able to get that first pick down, especially on the Viper, that's going to leave that controller out. So this is going to make that entry a little bit more easier. Rustin's going to be able to get another, and that's going to be huge. Taking out Reyna, not allowing them to get those frags to eliminate the players. Although damage coming through from Khan, just going to leave a wall in the face of Blackheart. And, I mean, of course, Redux having this operator is just going to be just as deadly, but what do you do? I mean, what do you do in that situation? A one-tap coming out from Khan right straight through the smoke, not allowing Redux to utilize that operator, and that's going to be a huge play. This wall coming through. Viper has to be able to at least get that Molly down, and it's only one player standing on the side of BBGA. They have to play for this half. There's only half right now. The spike is almost...
Oh, they tried.
Almost able to be defused, and right now it's just relying on Shook to get this one pick down, but Nerf is just going to close this out here.
Damn, I honestly think that Shuker could have actually clutched that out, and if they stuck it initially, after getting the second person last alive on on Flickbaiters, I believe, would have been able to actually get the defuse off, and now BBG's... Ooh, Flickbaiters has caught up to them. 10-10 now. BJ is forced onto this save round, and this really might allow Flickbaiters to either take this map, depending on how this round goes, or bring it to overtime at the very least. BBGA has lost a lot of their lead so far.
Shuk is very low right now. And that's definitely going to make it a little bit more difficult for BBGA. Actually, he has just enough 62 health here to be playing off of, but it is kind of a save round for BBGA. So, just waiting around. Flickbaiters, waiting to at least get some picks down. And honestly, B site might just be the site to go, Ash.
It might be, but I mean, Flickbaiters are still doing well to play this anti-eco pretty smartly. I'm surprised they did let BBGA kind of get away with taking that ultimate orb for themselves. But just playing back, rotation has actually been called on the side of BBGA back over towards the A site. So Arctic and Nerfed here could have a really huge drop on Monsi, who is only playing with the Sheriff. They hear the ultimate orb being taken, calling that rotation back from the rest of BBGA, and all of that Viper utility is going to go out, and the plant is going to be denied for now, but there seems to be actually just like the smallest sliver that's going to allow the plant to actually happen. Didn't quite cover the entire plant area as far as things go, and it's going to be a 5v5 post-plant situation, Converse.
Some shock darts just flying around. But I think this is a really good position for Flickbaiters. They might just be able to get a couple of your fireballs, doing really well, being able to frag out, but right now it is a 3K, 4K coming down with just a Sheriff in hand. Oh my gosh. Wow. And Flickbaiters, honestly, this is looking like Flickbaiters' game.
Thrifty.
I know. I mean, maybe that's a caster curse coming in again. It's back from Breeze. An incredible thrifty round, though, Gompers, from BBGA. Like you said, Fireball being able to get those 4 frags just with the Sheriff alone, and that's why we never count out the Eco Fraggers. Empress is back online. Con Artist also 2 away from that resurrection once again, but Verno already has his in hand, and Rustin's going to be able to pull out that Tool de False this time around, buying guns for their teammates instead, and this round really could be anybody's.
You want to play? Let's play.
I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out, and I'm interested to know if Flickbaiters is going to change their pacing at all. Maybe go for a blitz, whether it's this round after wasting some time getting some information, or if they're just going to continue with the slow default. No harm, no foul either way. I'm just curious to see if the change in pacing could maybe catch BBGA off guard, give Flickbaiters a little bit more of an edge up, and that Owl Drone is going to be able to clear out a lot of space, though, for Flickbaiters, but no movement is really being made off of it quite yet.
Yeah, I like, the way this happens, but the only issue I feel like that can possibly happen a little bit more often is, if Flickbaiters waits for this 30 seconds to go, it seems like they might just go through with the rotation here, but that 30 seconds, that's going to come up pretty soon. They're going to have to get that spike down, and it's going to be a lot of pressure on Flickbaiters.
It is. The clock is ticking. We're almost hitting the 30-second mark with this rotation that's being called over towards the A site. A great rendezvous, actually, from Rustin being able to get out from yellow there, reconvene with their team, which is going for a quick late round A blitz at the moment, and that Sage Wall, though, is going to come out, kind of forcing Flickbaiters into this precarious situation. Shuker is going to get 10 seconds down. Spike is going to get planted, and Shuker's going to whip that op shot. Gompers, it's a 4v4. Empress online as well. This could be anybody's round.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've seen Fireball get some really nice shots and nasty ones as well, but this Empress might just be able to clutch it out, regardless of how much health is done, how much damage is done on the side of Flickbaiters. I mean, whipping the shots is definitely not going to help the case. It seems like only one player standing, and right now, it honestly does seem like Flickbaiters might just be able to close this round out.
11-11.
Make a wish.
I don't need to make a wish. Both Flickbaiters and BBGA need to be making wishes right now. But yeah, 11-11. 1 point away from match point for either side. Things are getting hot in here, Gompers. We are seeing this, forced eco coming out from BBGA as well. I mean, Fireball is going to have that Vandal in hand, a hero gun here, and Shuker likely going to maybe try and get this A orb. Yep, to get the Blade Storm online. That Resurrection is available too, so that could be huge, and it's going to be a faster paced take this time around. Taking the A site. Redux is going to get that opening pick.
Oh, it's just a bunch of trade-offs coming through, but biggest concern here, I feel like BBG is just kind of giving the sights down. They're not able to hold them, which is pretty difficult in itself, but in the end, it's just honestly, Flickbaiters, you can't really do anything. Flickbaiters is just dominating in the post plant, so you have to at least try to do something about it. That wall can only do so much, and right now that diffusal's coming through, you can't really clutch it. Blackheart's gonna be able to get this 3K down, and that's gonna be leading to 4K in the name of Blackheart. Oh, and it was incredibly close. I honestly thought Blackheart might have just been able to clutch this up. Oh, but it seems like match point is occurring. Flickbaiters with that 12-11.
I think if Blackheart maybe had pulled the gun out a second prior instead of being in the middle of the pullout sequence there, the crosshair was right on top of Nerf's head too. Really could have clutched that out, but impeccable shots all around, like you said, Gompers. Hunter's Fury is now online for Blackheart as well. Still got the Resurrection available on both sides, so that is huge for both teams. And you're going to see the Blade Storm activated pretty early on. Redux looking to get these movements and just these jet movement kills, kind of being able to strafe away everywhere and spotting that headshot box frag as well. But Fireball is going to answer with a refrag of their own.
Oh, no, Rustin. You can't be whipping these shots, but it's not going to be a whip for BBGA. Fireball is bringing the heat, and they are not going to stop. It's looking pretty feisty here. Just one player standing for Flickbaiters, and honestly, this is going to go overtime, Ash.
Probably will go for overtime, but I don't want to count Fireball is going to get that last pick of 4K for themselves, tying it up to 12-12. We are taking it to overtime, folks. Sides have been swapped once again. Built by Gamers Academy now on the attack, and Flickbaiters on defense. It's a tight game. It's been overtime both times now. I cannot imagine how much of a nail-biter map 3 would be if we do see Flickbaiters taking this map home. And we're going to see that glass cannon operator actually coming out in Redux's hands. And I'm interested to see if this is going to be a detriment or if it's going to be almost a saving grace for Flickbaiters.
We're going to have to see. Redux is getting pretty aggressive off the bat, and I don't know how well this is going to work out. It's overtime. You have to be able to play with the team here. But getting those initial picks are also just as important. If Redux can be able to get one, this might just be able to be Flickbaiters' round, but information is coming through for Redux there. Knowing that there's one, it's going to peek out a little bit more aggressively. Pixel peeking. Oh, but no one's going to peek off this. This is dangerous territory.
It's dangerous too, considering the fact that Fireball's around the corner here, but Redux is gonna get the drop on them, and Rustin able to take down Monsi. Rendezvous away, play their life with their team. 5v3 situation built by Gamers. They're gonna have a bit of a tough time on this attack, but Shuker has all of their util available still to make that jet entry onto site, kind of explode on there, use the cloud burst for cover as well, and luckily the Sage Wall is still in play too, just to be able to secure that plant. But the lack of smokes is definitely troubling.
Ooh.
30 seconds left.
30 seconds left. This spike has to be planted, but there's 5 players of Flickbaiters just waiting. Oh, I thought it was going to be a collateral there, but it seems like Redux is only good for 1, and that's going to be extremely unfortunate. But 16 seconds. All Flickbaiters has to do is try to, deny this plant coming down. It is 10 seconds. Oh, and right there!
Down B.
Having to get this down, there's not much you can do, although Nerfed is not going to make it in time. That's going to be a resurrection for free there. But Khan has to be careful. Back B exposed! Oh no, this is extremely dangerous.
Enemy remaining.
That's one. And it's not going to be another! EVGA just completely closing this off. It is going to be 13-12 here, Ash. One more round from BBGA and they close this off.
Oh my god, just the trigger discipline from Nerfed is so good. It's definitely too bad that, you know, they weren't able to clutch out that round. Blackheart taking it home and being able to get that refrag, but I know what you said earlier about the operator in Redux's hands. I really thought that was going to be a 3-person collat on the wall there. I was genuinely surprised when it wasn't Gompers, to be quite honest. So we're going to see that glass cannon coming out once again now on the attacking side.
Ooh. Redux waiting around the corner for somebody to peek. I feel like now you can kind of get accustomed to the fact that Redux does have that operator, but I mean, you don't really think someone's going to have it on the attacking side. That's going to leave to one player being taken out from BBGA. But, I mean, the spike is not in the hands of anyone just yet, so only 1 minute left.
Poison orb.
A minute left, but Flickbaiters, you know, they're tried and true slow push, Nerfed. It's going to be good for Fireball here in mid, who's just overgressed a little bit. Russin's there for the flank from A. It's not going to come out this time around, and Flickbaiters definitely has the advantage here.
Oh, Blackheart's good for one, good for two, possibly another, but it seems like it's just not going to work out, turning their back in a very bad amount of time, but it's going to leave Pawn all by themselves, trying to at least get some spray through. I think this is looking pretty good, but they have to be able, BBGA has to be able to take out Redux here, especially since that operator's in their hand.
Oh, I'm so nervous for Con Artist right now. He's going to walk straight into that, but it's going to be a whiff from Redux, pulling out the shorty now. Back to the operator. Still ring around the Rosying here. And I like that Sage Wall that does come out to be able to kind of secure this DP to make it a lot easier. And I think it's going to go down, and that is 14-12. BBGA taking down Flickbaiters in semi-finals now.